Dark One sort of messed himself up doing his big cheer when he was already the bit boss. Didn't give himself very much health. Guys, this is best of 5. I believe it was Blood Boil and Proxima Station vetoed. Blood Boil and Proxima Station vetoed. And I think my Korean's not very good, so my Google Translate sort of showed me that Blood Boil and Proxima were vetoed. I think, maybe, perhaps, we'll see as the series continues on. Let's go into this though. Game number 1 of this best 5 PvZ. Both players in the prize money so far today. We started with $100 guaranteed, and you guys are awesome enough to throw an extra $10 into the prize pool so far, so thank you very much for that. Of course, if you do want to support further, then you can do so on the Matcherino page, !Matcherino in the chat, if you would like to get the link for that. So, let's do this. To the lower right-hand side, our Blue Protoss player from OSC Root, it is going to be herO. And he is going up against the Red Zerg. To the upper left-hand side, it is Leenock. Again, plan for the rest of the day as well here, guys. We're going to be going into... well, we're going to actually run a rebroadcast of this event after we finish. And then when the rebroadcast finishes up, I'm going to be doing my... I'm going to be playing some other games tonight. Not StarCraft, but just in case you fancy joining us for a few hours on the stream, then you're more than welcome to. We might be doing some... I don't know if we're going to continue our adventures in Zelda yet, or if we're going to play some maybe Heroes of the Storm we've been playing lately. But just in general, trying to stream a bit more. I know a lot of you guys are only here for the StarCraft and for the casting, but that's fine. Just letting you guys know in case you are maybe intrigued and tuning in a few hours from now. I'll be live in about 4 hours with my variety stream stuff. Again, it'll just be after the rebroadcast wraps up of the of this event, which we're casting right here, right now. The WardiTV Weekly number 10. Dun dun dun. The speed starts up here from Leenock across the map from herO. Well, we just watched the best of 3 PvZ from him, so it'll be interesting to see what else he can, if he changes things up any way, shape, or form against Leenock. I have to say, Leenock's ZVT looked fantastic today, so I'd be intrigued to see if his ZVP looks quite as on point. Just to give you guys a run through the bracket, Leenock started off all the way back in the round of 32, actually. He took down Jachi 2-1, Gumiho 2-0, and Keen 2-0 to make it to the finals. herO took down Eddie in the first round, Bly in the round of 8, and Armani. A bit shaky though in the PvZ, 2-1 in both of those series to make it through to this part of the tournament. Stargate is going to be set up here from herO and the natural expansion. Stalker just poking away and looking to see how this is going to go. Stalker will, with the Zealot 2, just poke on out here and come out a little bit and see what will happen. So Link Speed will finish up Pneumatized Carapace as well. Actually, that's an interesting one. We've not seen Pneumatized Carapace really being upgraded by the Zerg so far today. We'll help him to scout, maybe back away from a potential Phoenix that'll come out as a follow-up to this Oracle. Very commonly, and we did see it just on Ascension to Aya, one Oracle into one Phoenix just to, harass across the map, and then to go in towards that Phoenix to push away the Overlords has become very, very common lately. Or an Oracle into Void Ray, also something that's sometimes seen. The Phoenix more popular. It gets the job done, it's a bit cheaper and a little bit faster in general to move around. Although, obviously, you get a bit more defensive kind of uses out of a Void Ray. So it depends what you feel like you're playing against. And we are going to see a Void Ray actually on the way up from herO this time. So, Void on the way, showing us exactly how this can be a variety of things. Although actually with the Overlord speed, I don't think a Void Ray can keep up with an Overlord with speed. So it's maybe going to be the Overlord's not going to go down here in the end. As Leenock again so far picking up good info, herO picking up some good drone kills though. That's 3 and 4 going down, but now the double queen comes in. Ooh, it's going to be a lot of damage taken. He just squeezes out of there with health left on this Oracle somehow. That was very, very scary for him. Obviously the queen would have been able to take that down if he got one more shot. So it's nice that Oracle able to escape away and utilize itself later into this game, as we see very fast third Nexus. Actually taking the low ground third Nexus generally suggests aggression out of herO. I guess it makes sense. He's going to be able to hold down here, and if he holds down here, he's got the wall on the natural. Yeah, I mean, it's the other way around is that you hold over here, which is a bit more open to attack into. But then you have a bit of an easier wall to hold here, I suppose. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a choice you don't often see being made too often in the PvZ. But it's a choice that we see. It's something you see a lot in TvZ, obviously, like the different third base. As this Overlord is going to be stalked by the Oracle. Hey, buddy, I just want to be friends, honest. I'm not giving your position away to this Void Ray. Whoops, sorry. Dirty Oracle. Dirty Oracle, lying to his new friend, the Overlord. The Overlord will never be the same again, man. He's going to be scarred for life. The depth's shading up through the center of the map at the moment, and again, the Oracle just looking around to try and grab a drone kill or two. Moves in towards the third base, and Queen will poke away as the Revelation drops. And some of this Lingbane just going to be sighted. Moving up in towards the main base too. The Adept's going to cancel their shades just there. Again, this Oracle of herO is just going to be looping around. Will throw a Stasis Ward down. Same place as he's been doing for a long time now, just on the eggs. Catches a drone from the gas as well. And the Overlord in production, like, again, it adds up. Like, it's maybe a small supply block. No, it's cute. As he comes across the map as well, he's got a Depth, he's got a Void Ray. Prism here too to warp in. He's just going to go for a very aggressive follow-up. Never really taking gas, or all the gas in the natural again. I should really get more used to looking at this myself, because it's such a great thing to mention in the cast. Like, hey guys, look, he doesn't have extra gas. So that means he's probably going to all in. And that looked really clever. But instead, I just continue to not notice it until way too late. To mention, as we're going to be seeing, well, initial Bane hits are pretty good. A lot of Adepts shade up in towards the main. Some of them will stick down here on the low ground. As we are going to be seeing the Oracle coming in to try and help just pick away at a few more of these units. In the main, I mean, a lot of drones going down. I feel again like herO maybe... I mean, I don't want to... I feel as though like I'm an odd person to criticize herO, but it feels as though he let maybe a bit too much die to the Banes. But in the end, it's going to work out. It's actually going to be more convincing than it was against Armani, at least. So, as more buildings pop out right now, one of the issues is the Adepts are already in a choked up position. It's going to be almost impossible to engage into them. Hydra's getting picked off as they come out as well. And actually Adepts will just shade down to the low ground to keep on trading here. Drones will pull in to try and help out too. Those drones will keep on dropping, forces the GG, and herO will take game number 1. It's just such a surprise because obviously so often we do have downtime and we do have these small issues and moments where we do have to wait for players or wait for vetoes. That really hasn't happened today, which is awesome. It is. Guys, let's jump into game number 2 and see what's going to be happening here. We have got to the top left hand side from OSC route. The blue Protoss player is herO, picking up the victory with a very strong Adept follow-up on the 3 bases in game number 1. And to the lower right hand side is our red Zerg player, Leenock, looking to try and fight back. Had some very good ZVT so far today. Let's see if he can fix up his ZVP for game 2 to try and tie things up in this series. What's up, Lizzie in the chat? How you doing? Pleasure to see you, as always. Nice pile and block here. We'll force the gas pool rather than the hatch first. And obviously, when you've already saved up for the hatchery first, now having to throw down a gas pool is a little bit annoying. Just gonna leave the drone here, by the way. Obviously, he believes he can still get this Nexus hatchery down, and well, he won't. He needs another drone to go towards a 3rd base sometime soon. Or maybe he will. We'll be able to turn. He will be able to build. Oh, just about. It's pretty close to that probe nearly blocked. The thing is, if he doesn't get it down there, then he's going to be really delayed in terms of when he's going to be able to get that hatchery building. So that's pretty crazy. It's just going to be seen. This probe nibbling away at this mineral patch, just helping to trade with these few drones. As we see, the Cybercore comes up at home. I mean, herO not going to double gate or Nexus first or anything ridiculous, just nice standard stuff. Another assimilator coming down in the main base as well. Probe, just checking the low ground, seeing what's up, seeing what's happening. Nothing too crazy, I would say, just yet. Nothing too crazy. Nice slow start of PvZ. We've actually had very interesting games so far. Like, we've had very interesting openings. I actually feel in general I've been casting quite well today as well, which is always a nice feeling. I don't know if you guys agree, but I feel as though today I've been rather on point and interesting rather than sometimes I can be a little bit dull and stale and just say what's very obviously happening, like, oh my god, the probe pulls to the left, and now he's going to start moving south, but he's actually taking a bit of a southwesterly direction overall here. We'll now go down the ramp. Sometimes I take play-by-play a little bit too literally. Tooling's going to be chasing that down, of course, as you can see. We'll just be allowing Leenock just to keep track of where that kind of vision of herO is. Just make sure it's not building a pylon or something crazy. I mean, nowadays you don't see that as much, so it's not really as big a deal, but I mean, if you've got nothing else to do with these toolings, you may as well chase down the probe, right? Rather than, well, sit and do nothing. You see herO is going to throw in towards a Robo and a Twilight, so he's obviously going towards this, well, the Dark Shrine already on the way down. We know it's Archon drops. It's actually interesting from Leenock, who's making more Zerglings, and so now he's going to be looking to Bane Bust for game number 2. So just cutting workers at 25. Whoa, cancels the gate. Ah, wow, what did herO see? herO's just so smart today, man. Look at this, completely walled in. Is he just like, what has he seen? Like, what has he seen to know that this is going to be a Bane Bust? Like, I just don't know. I just honestly don't know. I mean, if he loses this pylon, he's in trouble. He just completely walls in. It's such an odd thing to do, but I guess unless he's going to go for like a 2-base all-in follow-up, it might be something that makes a bit more sense. But this is just going to win him this game, more or less, because it's just going to make this Bane Bust so ineffective that even if you bust through the Banes now, I mean, you're still going to be talking about, well, actually, the Banes do get through. Ooh! Ooh! Oh, wow. He was messed up. I didn't actually think there was going to be so many Banes left over to actually break down that second pylon, but there was. Now herO can't complete the wall. Okay, well, herO is not going to win this game. Apologies, guys. Wardy was very wrong just then. That is not going to win herO the game. It gave him a much better chance at winning the game. Guys, we do have game 3 of the best of 5 finals here today. To the lower left side of the map from OSC Root, it is our blue Protoss player, herO. Upper right hand side is going to be the red Zerg, Leenock. The Bane Bust works out, goes well. I mean, I honestly did not think it was going to. I mean, you can understand why. Like, he's fully walled, the gates were on the way up. I just didn't really think he was going to find value with that Bane Bust at all. But obviously, once you get in and you kick down that pylon, the lings are going to stream through. I mean, hero's very dependent on just having a full wall to defend and to buy time for warpins. And so when that gate goes down, half health, and yeah, I guess it was because the lings. I was kind of just thinking there wasn't enough Banes to take down gates and then a pylon. I just completely forgot about the fact that we'd already been seeing kind of herO throwing down a we'd already seen Leenock attacking the gate for a while, and that kind of just caught me a bit off guard. So that was pretty awesome so far. What's up, Duddles? Good morning, mate. How's it going? Lizzie hungover, still in bed. God damn it, Lizzie. You know what, Lizzie? We've never drank together properly, have we? Next time we're together, you owe me a proper night drinking. Okay, good. That's a done deal. No matter your response. 2 gates again from herO in the early stages. Awesome WardiCast GG says Agamenom UK. Agamenom. I never get your name right without like really thinking about it. Agamenom. I just can't do it. Like it just like something about the way it's phrased or the way it's written. It's like it really gets to me, man. I just can't do it like without really focusing on what I'm trying to say, you know. 2 adepts from herO will start to move out from the lower left-hand side of the map and will start to move towards the upper right to see what, of course, they can get up to here, what damage they may be able to deal in the very near future. So 2 adepts moving in towards the upper right-hand side. You can see a few Zerglings are continuing to come out as well. And yeah, a couple of adepts is going to move up in towards the main base. We see the Stargate dropping down from herO as well as a follow-up to this. So pretty standard stuff, looking to harass. This is really nice, by the way, if he actually does damage with these adepts. You're so reliant on kind of making the first few links and just using them as a good enough threat to not allow the shades to get in there, that if you actually start picking off drones, it becomes very messy for the Zerg player, because rather than already being behind workers because of the fact that you've been dealing with the fact that you with the fact you built so many lings, now you're also losing workers on top of that. It's messy, and you lose some lings, so you got to replace them. This was very good so far by herO, and he is shading back at the perfect time to make sure that those lings can't just jump on top of him and come in for the surround. Perfect stuff so far. Perfect stuff. herO playing well in game 3, but of course it's just the first 3 or 4 minutes. Behind this we already talked about the Stargate, and that is now producing the Oracle. As herO pretty safe to go into the fast third nexus. It's a weird third base over here, and you can understand why Leenock will take this one instead, because it has all 8 mineral patches set up and ready to go, rather than just the 6 over here for the one that herO's taken, this one in base. That's kind of defended by rocks, etc. So, I mean, it makes sense as well, as Zerg relies less on a Sim City, and more so just on actual units to defend. So these rocks don't change much for a Zerg player. Whereas a Protoss will rely on, these rocks as a layer of safety while he sets a wall up in this direction to create that SimCity and all the rest of it. As a drop load comes in, you're going to see just lings here initially to try and drop in towards this nexus, and well, the first Oracle picks up 4 drones across the map in the meanwhile, but is going to be pushed away by those queens. So here come the Ling's going to run on in, obviously try and pick up some probes, going all the way towards the main, which I like because there's obviously in the natural there's more likely to be adepts towards the wall already, next to those gates and holding the gap, and just in general stuff in position. As this Oracle starts to fight, herO will pull that away in time, but he lost I'm actually surprised he only lost 8 probes in the main because he just pulled them to fight and kept the adepts on the low ground. So, well, 8 probes going down. It's a nice trade from Leenock, of course. 8 lings for 8 probes. That's a very efficient trade, not only in minerals, but just in terms of what each unit is truly worth on the map at this stage of the game. You can see that Leenock instantly takes a huge lead in income just as the probes get pulled. As they get back to mine, that will drop off a little bit, but the 8 that die don't suddenly come back to life or anything, so it's still a factor, as you see. Well, Oracle comes in and drops down that stasis ward towards the side of the space here yet again, so again, catching a few drones, 1 in the mineral line. He's going to catch a... Is that a lava that's stasis warded as well? Like, you just can't build with it? Oh, man. They put a lava. What did that do deserve to be stasis? I feel as though stasis ward should kill lava. I feel lava is so underdeveloped that it should just die if it gets put into stasis, because that doesn't seem safe, does it? And then again, stasis isn't meant to damage stuff, it's just meant to trap them, so... I don't know. Maybe the unit that comes out of a lava that was trapped in stasis should be deformed because the stasis wasn't allowed to develop properly. Something like that. Maybe this is getting too complex. 4 Banes morphing in as light pressure, I think, from Leenock up the front. Don't think he's really looking to kind of push through here. He sees the sentries as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he just more or less pulled back or kept these units to wait until herO had moved further out onto the map himself. Again, you can see this game with the double gas on the natural much earlier than in previous games. Obviously, herO's not going for that big adept warp-in playstyle. Instead, he's throwing down a robo base, second facility, probably some. He's going to go straight to Colossi, he's going to go for disruptors. Bless me. Oh my god. Well, this is a pretty big stasis. Going to be capturing all of these units again. Stasis wards throughout from herO, rather than continue to try and do more. As we do see the Banes did come in and obviously caught herO off guard, catching me a little bit off guard as well, and so damage will be done. Another 7 workers, and there is still some lings in the main and natural. Oh, sorry, the main and third base, which will have to be dealt with before this is truly completely shut down, but it looks as though it still is only going to be 7 workers killed. There's a lot of Ling Bane to throw away for 7 workers, and you can see the kind of impact it's having on the supplies at the moment. herO maintains a good enough worker count, and his army supply is going to start skyrocketing in favor of himself. And he is going to go into Colossi, as well as Blink. It's a very old school kind of composition here that herO's building in towards. And he'll be very good at dealing with the Hydralisks. And you just see the Hydralisk Den with this Oracle right now. What he doesn't see, though, is the Spire in the natural expansion. This stasis ward here is somehow out of range and will go down. A little bit of a mistake there by herO. But yeah, he does not see... And this one, too, is also out of range. God damn it. So out of range... Spire is not seen, and again, the Spire not being seen is one of the main parts of this right now. Although Leenock will not have a lot of gas to spend as the Spire finishes, because initially he has just been milling more Hydras than I expected him to. So, yeah, that's pretty neat so far. I was going to see this Phoenix still trading with the couple of Overlords. Hydras coming on through with the Lings, and uh-oh. Okay, Prism does manage to get away to the side there, so... Prism off to the side, Oracle throws down the Revelation on the main base too. Some more bits and pieces, and just Just going to be seeing these Corruptors of Leenock coming out of these eggs. Corruptors on the way out, fam. They're coming. Here they go. Well, Corruptors, as a response to the Colossi, I guess makes sense. So maybe that was what this was all along. Maybe this is my own misread. Because I'm just sort of not really kind of taking into account the fact that Leenock with the Ling attack before did see the Robo Bay and did figure out this was probably Colossi. So now he's building a counter to Colossi, which is the Corruptors. Wow, this is such a weird comp. I mean, Ling Bay and Hydra makes sense, that's usual. The Corruptors against Colossi, though, is something a bit different. Love the response, though, by herO. Second Stargate, Void Ray production. I mean, if there's one way to get rid of Corruptors, it's probably Void Rays. That prismatic alignment ability just allows them to chew through the Void Ray, the Corruptors so easily, so quickly. Really, with no problem at all. Oracle still just sat here out towards the center. This Oracle will back away as well now. As we do see 5 more Photon Cannons on the way up. herO just beginning to establish his 4th base. I mean, he is very limited on gas here with these 3 bases because this gas is only a single gas, right? So it's again that third base is not really as efficient to take as the the third base that Leenock took because there's double gas on it. But again, for Protoss, it's more important to be able to stay kind of safe taking the third base in those early stages. As is this Stasis Ward still around? This one's still here, man. Just sat there waiting. Can't Stasis Ward an Evo Chamber, believe it or not. As crazy as that might seem. Ling's Hydras all gathering on up. We got a lot of Corruptors to the right hand side, looking to try and maybe pick off the Prism or something, or maybe an Oracle that's just stray on the map. I actually completely forgot that this map actually has watchtowers to hold the left and right side. I actually don't think I've played on Sequencer yet. Out of all the games I've played on Ladder, it's a map I'm still yet to play on. It's an interesting map, very positionally favors kind of positional play very heavily because of how all the kind of ups and downs, the low ground to the high ground and the choke points. So we've seen the Cryptos coming through as well. And the Hive on the way up from Leenock. Really, again, just setting up into this later stage where, I mean, he wants to go into Broodlords generally as a way to fight against the Protoss player, but I have to say, I love how herO's going to be set up for his own late game. I mean, he's got Voids, he's got Colossi. All he needs to do is throw down a Fleet Beacon, he's pretty much able to start up his carrier production, which is something that we generally see Protoss go into late game. But as it stands right now, you can start pushing across the map and looking to get some damage done. So, here we go. Pushing across. herO here is going to be pushing on forwards, and he's going to start working his way, and he will be able to get rid of that Overlord right away. He's having an Observer. Probably not, because he was just reliant on Oracles up until now. Well, here we go. I mean, herO's just not going to waste any time. He's going to break through these spines, throws down a Revelation right away. Has Force Fields now, throwing down Stasis Ward 2 to help kind of trap some of these units. Leenock just backs off, man. He does not want to fight this. He's got 10 more Corruptors about to finish up, so to be fair, in a few moments he's going to have way more to help fight against a lot of this. And he does have a base very far top left about to finish too. It's actually the first game I've seen where this top left base has been taken on Sequencer, so it's quite cool to see this little bridge coming into play. Corruptor's going to pick up a Void Ray there, and again, looking to see the bits and pieces, looking to see what's going to happen. As this Hatchie's still taking damage though. Voids, well, there's actually a lot of Force Fields trying to slow down the Banelings advancing, but the Banes, some of them do connect. Voids working their way through the Corruptors as the Colossi begin to go on down. herO will open a hell of a lot more Stalkers. He's now pretty much just pure Stalker against these Hydras and Banes. However, that being said, pure Stalker can trade pretty well considering their +3 upgrades. And the Hydras, well, they don't have missile upgrades. A few Banes rolling in, but Stalkers do have Blink to Micro as well. This almost looks like one of those kind of 2 or 3 base all-ins with kind of mass Stalker. As Lings run in though, they do have +2 melee, and +2 melee on Lings should shut these Stalkers down, push them back, and he's going to try and drag them in towards a Stasis Ward. That might just keep herO fighting here. He brought his Mothership core out to recall back home, but now the Corruptors can jump on that so quickly that it might be a problem. He's going to try the recall. Does he get it? He does. And the recall will save herO for now. However, for how long, really? I mean, well, let's look at this. You know, Leenock lost a base. He was forced to retake this base instead. And, well, actually, herO's going to go straight on the map again. Wow, does not care. Just moves out instantly. Back at home, though, he's building a Mothership. He's building a Templar Archives. Like, he's building a transition. I imagine he won't build into any, Colossi again at this point. We'll probably just go for Archons and again maybe more air-based units. Also because there's already so many Corruptors up, he doesn't want to give them a use, you know? Yeah, the Corruptors right now are kind of dead, dead weight until a Greater Spy is finished. So, having like 10 Corruptors in the sky is basically like 10 Corruptors that are just never really going to be part of your army supply. So if you kind of look at it in that regard, it's actually very nice for herO to not build up more Colossi or anything. Obviously the Corruptors at some point will probably have a use. Nice use of the map, by the way. Pulls over here, then blinks to the low ground. herO just still try and trade as well as he can here at this stage. Try and take the best fights possible to just make up for what has not been perhaps one of the best early stages so far. A lot of Lings running up top side, and you're going to see one Stalker will take the right hand side tower. We're going to see a Void Ray or two being built once again as his choice of air units. And again, with the Corruptors already up in the sky, I guess a couple of Voids make sense. He's actually going to go back into Colossi, so he's going to go for the same composition. I have to say, I am surprised. I really, really am. Just because, like... Well, yeah, just because more than anything, I don't know, like... It's weird. I don't know, like, it's just not something I usually see in PvZ, so I don't really know what to tell you guys, like... I don't know how well it's going to work as a follow-up. I mean, the Colossi do very well against Lingbane Hydra, I'm not going to deny that. I mean, they trade very well against it. But if Corruptor's already up, Ultra's on the way... You're gonna see this is really nice, by the way. 4DT is just going to swipe down this top left base, goodbye. No detection there for Leenock, and he's going to pay the price for it. And these few Oracles just going to keep on pulling back. Going to leave one DT top left side just to watch the base maybe coming back up into play. Nope, going to pull this one back too. Maybe just didn't realize that he selected it or something. It's still hotkeyed and doesn't mean it to be. Again, Ling's just running on forwards here and just going to be seeing the DT's pulling back as well. Bottom right side, herO's taking this base as well, by the way. All the action's been out in the center of the map and towards Leenock's bases. We've been failing to really kind of comment on the fact that, herO is still expanding back at home. He still holds a very strong economy. Leenock with a lot of this Lingbane Hydra now collecting up together. Ling's going to try and make their way through these rocks. 4 more Archons finishing as well. I mean, herO's army is still very good. Like, you look at the composition, it's fantastic even. And actually right now there isn't enough anti-air for Leenock up to really deal with the Void Rays. I mean, the Voids are going to kill the Corruptors, then the Broods. 4 more Broods morphing. Leenock actually needs more Corruptors. Like, what does he have to fight? I mean, he's got Hydras, I guess, to fight the Voids. That's not very reliable, though. He's obviously got a few Infestors as well. You see those units continue to gather together over to the right-hand side. See a couple of little bits and pieces coming down. Again, pushing forwards here. herO, does he want to go up this ramp, though? Does he want to go and take the engagement? He does have that mothership. Trying to push on forwards. We can see the Voids doing a little bit of damage. Again, the Broods are maybe the bigger issue. Maybe we see some Tempests starting up in production just to fight from a distance. It's interesting because the Voids will dominate the sky, but does he want to fly that far forwards? Because then the Hydras come into play. It's an interesting kind of little bit of in-between as we're going to see, ooh, Fungal Growth is going to catch this. Another Fungal Growth recalls back home. Just doesn't want to fight under the Fungal. 2 Tempests on the way in production. herO begin to set up against this as he actually recalls the bottom right-hand side. These 2 Archons apparently got left behind. They didn't quite manage to grasp the doors and keep them open while the train was leaving the station. The mothership left without them, and well, fortunately, the next flight is leaving right now. So the mothership gets ready for board and pushing forwards here. The mothership's just going to go down, throws down the time warp to try and help catch some of these Hydras. He catches the tail end of 1 or 2, blinking forwards. Big Fungal Growth on the remaining Infestor there, but now no more Fungals available. He will back away though. He's once again the player losing units here. And as he goes into the Tempest, there isn't really a need, I don't think, for him to kind of stay in this. You know what's so interesting about Sequencer? The players feel so far away from each other. You know, like, even late game here, we're going up to 6 bases, and yet neither player is really that close to each other in terms of their actual, like, location of base. Here we go, though, big fight. Voids are going to start taking down those Broods quickly, but again, there's the Hydras we were talking about. Tempest from a distance. will try to help out, but the army is just flooding on through, and Leenock seems to have way too much. He's going to start breaking down these cannons, and, well, Corruptors and Broods are chasing down the Colossi. A Tempest pops out and walks right into its death, more or less. Is he going to go down? He is, because herO types out GG, and we're going to... You'll join me, of course. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget you can, well, first of all, support the players through the Match Arena page if you'd like to donate a few dollars to them over there. Otherwise, you can subscribe to the stream, donate, cheer, or follow. All great ways to support and to keep in touch and to keep track of us in the future as we move on forwards in the world of StarCraft 2. All the support greatly helps us run events. I mean, again, this event that's being run right now, the WardiTV Weekly, is an event that is really because of the subscribers is why it happens. We've got so many subs nowadays that we can afford to take a bit of the sub money each month and to put it in towards some events such as the WardiTV Weeklies. So that is why that's what happens, and you have a great time doing it all. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys have a lot of fun as well with it, as we do just set up into this game for then Ascension to Aya. Let's see how it's going to go. Bottom right hand side, the Blue Protoss player from OSC Root is herO. And to the top left, our red Zerg is Leenock. I think Naruto was like, BRB or AFK or something, and he's like... he's like, his camera's on me and my camera's on him, so we're just like cameraing each other. God damn it. Alright. We're gonna use some observing for Naruto here. It's got some trees. We've got this little thing. Whoa! Whoa! Look at these guys. I didn't know these guys were on the map. So awesome. Look at these guys over here. Living amongst the trees. Got a little campfire. What are they called again? I can't even remember. I'm so bad at life. Oh, there's a camp of them down here as well. I wonder if they're opposing tribes, man. Wait, is there anything else interesting on this map? What are these guys? Got some stone statues, stone zealots looking to face off. Maybe they're just talking over fire. Anyways, Stargate's come up here from herO. Again, it was the double adept opener, sorry. There was a depth somewhere at some point. They died. Oh my god. I'm looking everywhere apart from where we should be looking. As you see, these lings going to run back down to the bottom right hand side. That was, sorry guys, that was like basically the opposite of what we should have been looking at. Oracle on the way, we'll follow this. At least we'll follow something here. As we set up into this. Thank you, Doctor, for the cheer 5 in the chat again. Appreciate it. And the Void Ray on the way up from herO, from the Stargate as a follow-up. So again, he likes the Void Ray rather than the Phoenix. It feels like something that is more kind of just, what do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to make that single Phoenix or the single Void Ray? As again, herO is down in this series. 1-2. A couple of queens poking away. And looking to see what else is happening. +1 melee attack coming on in here for Leenock on the Evolution Chamber. So again, looking to be a bit more of a standard Ling Bane playstyle. Something we saw a bit of in the last game with the melee upgrade and going in towards Hydras off of Valair as well. The third Nexus comes down here from herO 2 in the space over here. Ewoks, that's it. God damn it. I'm so bad at Star Wars. We've got Ewoks on the map, isn't that crazy? Who would have thought? Where are they? Up here? God damn it, I lost them. They're so hard to spot. Are they dead? They're not dead! They're just chilling. Sat still. Anyways, the depth's coming up here. The Oracle will hit the main. Guess what? I think it's Stas's Ward time. Goes towards the eggs, and we'll see what he can catch. He's going to catch some lava at the very least. And these Adepts will try and shade in. I mean, no glaives on them, so they don't really want to commit in towards that many Lings and Queens. They're already actually running back. There's going to be a second Stas's Ward here. Oracle is not going to catch anything with that just yet. The Queen's going to sacrifice itself. Oh, no, Queen's going to actually kill it, of course. Still some lost mining time. I wonder if all of those drones not mining for that long would have been more mining time lost than if he'd just given one drone to the stasis ward and just popped it instantly. Probably would have been, you know? Because this is what, like 16 drones not mining minerals for 10-15 seconds versus one drone for like 20 seconds? I mean, almost is. I actually genuinely think it probably is, right? I mean, if there's 16 drones, you basically just need them to not be mining for 2 seconds. And then it's worse than just losing one drone for 20 seconds. So that's crazy. Anyways, we do see the Ling's just going to move through the center. Bane and Nest is coming down towards the third base. And we see, well, herO got some extra gates. He has got the extra gas on the natural, so he's just setting up into further tech. And his extra production as his third base begins to saturate, of course. So nothing too crazy. Overcharge will be popped, and those Lings are starting to disappear as he tries to run by here. The Overcharge is doing a pretty good job. And 2 probes killed, and Lings will escape through the side. 1 or 2 more going down to those Overcharge shots. As the lair is about to finish up from Leenock over in the main base. You can see the 4th hatchery as well, just starting to build down on the low ground. Oracle to the left-hand side is going to be flying on over in towards the center of the map. Stalker's going to pick off a Zerg on the right-hand watchtower. And still just pushing forwards. herO looking to see where he can get to, looking to see what he can get up to in the next few moments. Infestation bit will come down as well from Leenock now. As all of these units just going to push on over to the left-hand side, and just going to be seeing the continued attack here from herO. Actually, just getting ready to go, but I don't know if he really wants to commit further up here. I mean, the multiple spines from Leenock are going to keep him very, very safe. He's going to start rotating them over towards his 4th base, which has just finished up. Well, this is messy. This is why I don't like this 4th base here on Ascension Tire, because the force fields are just going to completely block this ramp. I wonder why. That's probably why we see players trying to expand down here instead a lot of the time. That's yeah, it's a bit tough because again, you just cannot attack down that ramp if your opponent is in position. Obviously, your opponent you shouldn't have your opponent in position on your 4th base, but sometimes it can be difficult, and it's kind of weird because as the attacker, you basically have less of a rotation from here around to there than the defender has from here to here. It's at least very similar, so it's a very very intriguing. Gonna see a couple of Lings going down. And here just continue to pull down towards the bottom right hand side, pulling his army away and just going into that further attack. However, let's talk about the swarm hosts, which have just popped out. Now, Hellmuffins, as they have now been nicknamed and will probably be called forevermore. They're an interesting choice, and it's a very different way to play as EVP in terms of style. Obviously, you're not playing the Hydralisks, you're playing the swarm hosts, and well, going up against herO's composition, which is again going to be involving Colossi. As we see, the first one is just popped out, right? Nope, I'm just not able to read the production tab correctly. So he's going to have Colossi against Swarm Hosts. It's Lings. Maybe could have gone more of a surround than they've realized there. It's a bit of a risky one. Anyways, this army from herO I actually think is in a little bit of a risky spot. You're going to see Lings is going to wrap around, and that means that the Locust, I mean, you can see why the Mothership Core is here, because he just wants to recall out. However, a little bit too late, perhaps. herO loses a hell of a lot. I mean, we're talking about... Well, what did he just lose? Because he hasn't lost much this game, but 2 Sentries, 8 Stalkers, a lot of Zealots. And now he recalls away from his 3rd to the natural? Okay, I mean, he could have just walked there. That was also an option. Obviously, our Protoss player just has too much energy, way more energy than he ever needs, and so he's just going to teleport everywhere. Maybe his units are just stubborn. Swarm Host will go towards the main base, and as he splits these units up, it's going to be difficult to really commit the right amount of units in the right places, as well, Leenock will pop those Swarm Hosts up. They'll land right at the front. I mean, immediately the Stargate's going to start going down. Actually, the Phoenix is a pretty nice way to kind of get rid of these Swarm Host Locusts. You know, if you have a good flock of Phoenix in the sky, then you're going to be able to you know, deal with those light Locusts and kill a few of them before they land, and that can actually be a pretty big deal. And Phoenix as well will be able to lift Swarm Hosts and stop them from retreating as they would like to as well. So there's a few different bits and pieces as to why that could work out in his favor. As moving on forward, Stalkers, Colossi, Sentries. I don't know about this. Like, I just don't feel as though hero's army can really fight. I just don't know if his army can really fight. A few more zealots going to warp in as well. Even behind this, I mean, Leenock's just setting up in towards Vipers, Ultras. I mean, this is a very kind of cookie cutter kind of composition from herO. Cookie cooker. Cookie cooker. Amazing. As we are going to be seeing the Revelation getting dropped down. Hellmuffins pop the Locusts. And the chocolate chips in the Hellmuffins obviously fight back. I reckon if you ate some of these, you'd probably get food poisoning, but... Meanwhile, Ling run by and herO is under attack in his natural and in his main base. These Lings are starting to do a hell of a lot. Zealots are dropping, probes are dropping. This is some really good damage so far by Leenock, who is again just going to force the herO to focus at home a bit. Maybe not focus on pushing in. He's actually going to get rid of the 4th base though, and well, in fairness, you might be able to kill off a lot of the Protoss economy, but if you're only on 3 bases of your own as a Zerg, might not be in the best position. These Lings are actually surviving way longer than they should against these Zealots. This hatch ray, this Nexus has gone very, very low. Will not, in the end, go down. But, very, very close, man. I mean, 76 health. I mean, does it matter if the main base dies? He hasn't got many probes to send to it at the moment. But, of course, he can rebuild those probes. Leenock now going to take the base to the bottom left-hand side. That's the base I wish he would have just taken all along. Send up once again, seeing how he can go. I mean, the thing is, though, you're going to see a couple of feedbacks coming down on what? Vipers? I think just got dropped by the feedbacks, which is nice. Well, let's see if it's going to be enough. Again, these few Ultras are going to help to try and push on forwards. The Locusts coming up in the skies. They're not quite going to be able to reach this army, though. Just being used as a tool right now to basically push herO further back and to just keep him from attacking in for a few more moments. Will be enough, though. Ling run by again. Natural expansion will now fall. The main base will also now fall. And these Zealots that are warping in are not going to have a brilliant time either against what is +2 melee Adrenal Gland Zerglings. They do a hell of a lot of damage. These pylons which are overcharged also not faring too well at all. Well, the main base is in trouble, and so herO is just going to focus more so on this push forwards. Is there a way to defend this for Leenock? He's currently a few seconds away from Swarm Hosts being able to fire once again. I actually think herO's got enough here. The Archons are going to crush on through. The Lings are very late in coming back home, and so all of a sudden herO does have too much of an army, and it looks as though he will be able to push through to victory. Wow. Leenock with some... And see what's going to happen. It's good play by herO. Patient, careful, slowly picking his fights. The fact he kept denying the 4th was pretty huge. It meant that Leenock wasn't able to rebuild as much, and the thing is against Swarm Hosts, if the Protoss player is being aggressive, Swarm Hosts are not the best unit to have, because as soon as you pop your Locust, they disengage, and then they still have 30 seconds or so to re-engage before the Locusts are ready to go once again. And so it works out to be very frustrating to try and defend with Swarm Hosts. As we do have to the top right-hand side of the map from OSC route, it is going to be herO. Bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player. It is going to be Leenock. And he has opened, as you can see, with the 12 pool. Defender's Landing. I mean, I love the fact herO opens double gate. I mean, immediately, that's generally going to be quite advantageous to him for this. So Defender's Landing is, if herO tried to wall on the low ground, he'd be in trouble because there's 2 entrances to the natural, and so the Lings would almost always find a way in. But the double gate wall on the main, his may be the one way in which he can open a bit more safely on this map, and unfortunately for Leenock, it will be build order advantage to herO. And as these Lings arrive, well, there isn't anything being built just yet, so these Lings are going to get in, and if they can kill the pylon, obviously that would be pretty huge. You should build another pylon here instantly, I think, just to fully wall. I mean, obviously saving this first pylon would be nice, but stopping more Lings getting in would also be nice. Starts up 2 Adepts. Probes pulling away. Will actually doesn't have money to build anything else, so it's really important he doesn't lose that pylon. As again, Adepts will pop out and they will start to clean this up. Probes again, realizing just how important it is to protect this pylon, and that's exactly what they're doing. May actually just need the probes to, again, protect against the Lings and help the Adept as well. Yes, the surround. I mean, the Lings are going to go down. The Lings are going to go down. He will have the money to rebuild the pylon now. This was kind of a bit of a mixture of feels, I suppose, overall. I mean, Leenock comes out of this with an expansion finished already. So, he's going to have an expansion already finished. Leenock at home. Obviously, to no expansion of his opponent here in the natural. These two adepts do start to shade through the center and look to see what they can get up to. We're going to see if they can deal some damage in the next few moments. A couple of Lings will try and jump on top of this probe, and herO will just have to pull that away up in towards the main here. Just try and buy some time. This next adept should help him. This is the painful part, though, for Leenock generally. Against, like, when you go early pool like this, you know, first of all, you kind of maybe don't do as much damage as you want, but then you've got to, you know, as you try and drone up, you have to try and deal with the adepts that come across the map, and that means 4 workers go down, and more Lings have to be made. Suddenly herO is up a few probes. However, again, he's up a few probes in a situation where he still doesn't have a natural. And his natural still will be difficult to defend, although Leenock is very late with the gas, and so he's not going to be... I guess it won't be that much of an issue right away. As we... I'm just going to be seeing the couple of adepts going to continue popping out of these gateways. Some more adepts popping out here, and I'm just going to be seeing the assimilator just popping up on the other side of the Nexus. More gas is coming through. Again, at this situation, it's a weird one because Leenock did buy a lot of time where he was mining and herO just wasn't. And then herO had a probe advantage, but again, without the second Nexus coming down, slowly but surely herO will fall behind in economy for the next few moments, and especially as he gets up to this worker count that he's at right now, extra workers he makes doesn't exactly help him because of the oversaturation, the saturation past optimal saturation, which he will end up towards us. And you can see these adepts are not really wanting to turn and fight because they're finding themselves in a bit of a spot of bother. Oh, he's going to lose one of them, definitely. The other two will shade away. But good defense by Leenock. There's a lot of Lings there, though, which does mean that Leenock has been making a lot of units rather than drones, which is, again, maybe a saving grace for herO right now. Who, again, only making 1 probe at a time. Finally, he's got the Nexus up to make 2 at a time. Twilight coming down. I mean, overall, all said and done, realistically, this looks like it's going to even out. You know, if herO doesn't die in the next couple of minutes to, like, a whole shit ton of Lings or something, I think this is going to even out and we're going to get at least a 2 base play between both players, so... We'll see. We're going to see more depths already in the center of the map. Bane Nest coming up now, though. Ling speed is about to finish. That obviously helps out massively moving forwards here. It's going to help out a huge bunch. As these adepts will shade on forwards. Going to see this first queen will not take any damage just yet, actually. Keep on pulling back, and you see a Stalker going to take down this Overlord as well. Stalker takes down an Overlord. We see these adepts again setting up, seeing where they can get to, seeing what they can get up to. And, well, I'm just going to be seeing again some adepts going down. They shade away. This is the thing, like, Leenock now has enough units to just stay safe, so he can just drone. Like, there's no need for him to stop or slow down for the foreseeable future. As again, adepts is going to fire away, take down another Ling or so. Again, just little bits and pieces of damage. These adepts will gather up together, going to sit in the wall, just going to jam things up a little bit. You'll see 3 more adepts just going to be warped in as well. And Glaive's about to finish. What does herO go for overall? Well, his gases are finishing on the natural, but he isn't saturating them. And he will do now, so it looks as though he will just continue to tech past this. How many gates is he on? Just the 3? Yeah, he's going to tech past this. It's just going to be some heavy adept pressure until then, so... Setting up. Let's see what these adepts can do. I mean, he's still only really playing against Ling. His first Banes are morphing in... Oh, okay, there's Banes already. Oh no. Oh no, herO... loses 1 adept, somehow gets away with the rest of them. They were already shading backwards, so their lives are saved. There's 4 of them. We'll jump into that prism. Are they the 4 healthier ones? Yeah, more or less. 4 of the healthier adepts jumping in there. Go to harass. And double Stargate now as a follow-up. So herO, again, playing a playstyle that will generally take the 3rd base way later, because it is not an easy 3rd base to defend. It's not an easy map to take 3 bases on. And this... double Stargate play will be a lot of Phoenix, a lot of harassment in the near future to try and just slow down the Zerg and to put himself into a better and better position and harass himself into a comfortable place to kind of you know, secure this third Nexus, basically. Thank you very much, by the way, Daedalus05, for the 5-month resub on the $5 sub. Appreciate it. Getting some love in the chat for our 5-month resub. Cheers, bro. Thank you very much. As we do see there's a Bane drop going to come in towards the main. The Fierce Phoenix are not around, or they're not close enough to kind of deny this, and all of a sudden 8 workers go down, now 9. The Lings will drop as well to chase down some of the lower health probes, and that's going to be, well, nice micro from the herO. That one probe that was being targeted by Lings jumps into the assimilator to stay alive as he pulls through the others. That's really nice, actually. It's really cute. But, yeah, I mean, Phoenix kind of cleaning out that Overlord. And, well, Leenock is still just doing damage. He's 65 probes to 41. Hydra Den about to finish up, which is obviously going to be really important against these incoming Phoenix. He obviously saw the double Stargate too, right? Yeah, so, I mean, he knows exactly what's going on. So here, Leenock here can really just approach this as a, way to kind of keep on going. We're going to see again these Phoenix looking to see what's up. Adept's just going to jump into the War Prism there, move away to the side. Some drones going to start getting picked away at, and again, just going to see this Prism moving up to the top side. Let's see the Crypto being cleaned out a little bit. Phoenix still harassing though. Gets themselves a queen kill. A double spore though is actually turned out to be rather effective. And there's a spore under these overlords, which is helping to really kind of lower the Phoenix count rather rapidly, or at least the health of some of those Phoenix. Now Hydras as well. And so far, it doesn't really feel as though there's too much progress being made by herO's Phoenix. Well, Phoenix coming up, he's going into a third Stargate, so he may just use this as a way to transition straight up into Sky Toss right from the get-go. And just continue on through that. Fourth hatchery begins to build as well, as the harassment will just continue around the map. Thank you very much, Rival Pure, who's just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Got some STI hearts and love in the chat for that one as well. Thank you very much, appreciate it. Thank you for the sub. Always appreciated. And again, goes a long way towards supporting the channel, and these events, especially the WardiTV Weeklies, wouldn't be a thing without our subscribers. Adepts dropping on down. Lings, Banes, Hydras nearby enough though, and herO just kind of using this prism more than anything to keep track of this army. Three Phoenix being made. He's just going mass Phoenix at the moment. He's going mass Phoenix against what is already just so many Hydralists though. Again, Leenock throughout the game has been in a great position for the last 10 minutes. He's been the dominant force in terms of income. I mean, this is pretty much the entirety of the game. That was the point here where Leenock had those Lings in his opponent's bases. Oh, well, here we go. We're about to see if these Phoenix are going to work, and I just don't think they are. There's, like, way too many Hydralisks. I like the idea from herO. Like, it's a cute play. It can work sometimes. But in this regard, like, he's just been too far behind, and so Leenock has just got that number of Hydras that's just going to be more than enough. I was going to be seeing the Lings, Banes, and Hydras going to be pushing on through. War Prism goes down as well. I mean, the Phoenix might be able to clean up here towards the end. The Hydras will try to fight them once more. Should be target firing them down. He's slowly getting them. Is there just about enough Phoenix here? As the Phoenix kind of drop the Hydras back down, they're just going to keep on dying. And either way, the third base has been ransacked. GG! Leenock takes the WardiTV Weekly number 10, qualifies for the Season 2 final.